My beloved Demon King Episode 1. My tragic prophecy. Centuries ago, the land was plagued by a powerful demon king. Hordes of monsters and deadly disease wreaked havoc across the world and slowly began defiling the Holy Lands. Humans sent their most powerful knights to protect the land and slay the demon king. People with an affinity for holy magic were taken in by the church and accompanied knights in their duty. However, the demon king was not only strong but he was crafty. Humans are weak when offered what they desire most, and many of them were corrupted by evil. Humans were on the verge of extinction with seemingly no hope of salvation. However, that would change when over 100 years ago, a baby was born with an immense amount of holy power. Priests and priestesses came far and wide to witness the child's talents, and a prophecy was told that this babe would save mankind. Raised under the careful tutelage of the church, this child was then sent to fulfill her destiny. With her team of knights, she traversed Uphola and easily purified the demonic beasts that attempted to slay them. They arrived to the Barren Lands, where the demon king lived. Amused, the demon king allowed her to come into his realm and face him. One by one, the priestess knights fell victim to temptation. When her last knight was purified and eradicated from this world, she had arrived upon the demon king's doorstep. Unwavering, she faced her destiny, and battled him. The battle was fierce. The priestess had lost her arm and cauterized her wounds in holy fire. The demon king was growing weaker from having to withstand the holy magic. The priestess was tired, and felt her strength fading away. In one final effort, she called upon the gods for strength and gave her life to seal the demon king. Without a leader, the remaining demon army was unable to continue battle and subsequently sealed to the Barren Lands. The demon king, neither living or dead, could merely observe his kingdom fall apart. With much hate and rage, he vowed to escape his bonds and exact his revenge. A monument was erected in honor of the priestess and her accomplishment. She was praised, Morgana, slayer of demons and champion of men. Celine. Celine gasped and woke up, eyes still blurry from her catnap. She had snuck out of class through the servant passageways, so she hadn't expected to be found so soon. Quickly, she smoothed out her robes and hair before answering her master. "I'm here." "My goodness, child, were you napping again?" she scolded. Celine smiled sheepishly and twirled one of the curls around her finger. "It does not matter." Master huffed, a grave expression on her face. "Celine, you must come with me. It is important." Celine felt her heart drop to her stomach. Could this have anything to do with the rise in demonic attacks lately? Suddenly, the warm air that made her soul fly suddenly felt boiling and stifling. Obediently, Celine followed Master Ilta into the depths of the church. Down here was where all divination rituals that Master Hortensia performed took place. Heart-pounding, Celine silently sat at the table. Master Ilta left the room without a word. Master Hortensia entered the room looking as sullen as Master Ilta. She firmly grasped Celine's hand and locked eyes with her. "I imagine you already understand why you are here," Hortensia began. "It seems that the gods have made a plan for you yet. I never imagined this day would come so soon." "Wait, what? What do you mean?" Celine questioned, not understanding what everyone was so stressed about. "Celine, you must remember that this is your duty. This is for the sake of the world, and there will be a wonderful place in heaven for heaven." Celine interrupted, ripping her hand away from the old woman and shoving the chair back. "Am I meant to die?" "Sit down, child." Hortensia spoke with much force, and Celine felt compelled almost against her will to listen. Her blood ran cold as she continued to listen, fear locking her limbs in place. Hortensia looked at her fiercely. "The demon king is growing stronger. The seal that the priestess Morgana placed on him is failing. We suspect that her soul is no longer binding him, merely the leftover strength of her holy magic." Hortensia walked away to her desk, where she pulled out a book that Celine could not see from her position. She sighed heavily. "It has barely been 100 years. I was hoping to have passed before this came to be." Hortensia's voice was humorless and bitter. Her thin fingers began to flip through the pages. It looked to be a book containing photographs of old priests and priestesses. When she stopped flipping, Celine saw a familiar-looking woman and realized it was her. "How to dash it is not you, my dear," she quietly interjected. "This is the only thing we have left to remember the likeness of the demon slayer, Morgana." "Why?" Celine whispered, unable to tear her eyes away from the image. "Why does she look like me?" "You," she hesitated, "are her reincarnation. Somehow her soul was reborn, and when we found you we could not believe our eyes. When we saw your potential it became clear." Hortensia gently took her hand and rubbed the delicate skin with her thumb. "We took you in because we knew that one day the gods would call upon you to answer to their will, Celine Duke." Understanding dawned upon Celine, and her body was filled with rage at the betrayal she heard. "You mean to tell me that you took me in to be your little puppet?" Hortensia remained quiet. Celine's voice raised into an agonized shriek. "So you raised me as a pig for slaughter? Why would you do this to me? Why must I die for your sake? I refuse to believe my purpose, my struggle, was all for me to die before I have even lived." Sobs racked her body, a pit in her stomach so large it threatened to swallow her whole. Hortensia seemed cold and unreachable, her face set in determination. "Celine, you know very well you cannot go against your fate." Hortensia's voice was unyielding. "Before the Demon King escapes Morgana's bond, you must be sacrificed. You are the only one who is powerful enough to do this. We will all be doomed if you do not fulfill your duty." "How could you, Hortensia?" Celine wailed, "Do you not love me? You all raised me like a daughter." A sharp pain and the crack of hand upon cheek silenced Celine. Eyes wide, she looked up at a woman she once admired. "Stop being a child. This is the will of the gods, we did not ask for this. Do you not think we loved you like our own child?" The smallest of breaks in Hortensia's voice made her sound almost human again. "This is your destiny and you will not know, you cannot run from this." "How long?" Celine trembled. 3 days. In 3 days, the ceremony will take place." Celine had been escorted in silence to her quarters. She refused to acknowledge the other students and priests milling about. All of this was so odd. Her life was over, yet time would march on with or without her. An emptiness resided in her heart, and all she could do was lay in bed. Her mind was clouded and she cried herself to sleep. That evening, a knock came at her door and awoke her. "Celine, it's me." Celine recognized Master Ilta's voice, and a familiar anger filled her body. "I want to be alone, please," she called out. It was quiet for a few moments, and Celine thought she had left until the sound of her doorknob opening said otherwise. "I said leave me be," Celine snapped. Master Ilta, trailed by a knight Celine knew as Idris, looked behind her quickly and shut the door. Her eyes were wild and she held a backpack. "Celine, you must listen to me carefully," she whispered. "Take this. It is not your destiny to die here, I'm afraid you have been deceived. Idris will help you escape." "What? Quiet." Master Ilta hissed and shoved the bag into her hands. "You will find supplies you need in this bag. Go through the servant's door, there are horses waiting for both of you but you have to hurry." "Master, please. What is going on? I'm so confused," Celine begged, tears prickling her eyes as she pulled the bag onto her shoulders. "Madam, they're going to catch her," Idris interrupted, closing the door and pulling the dresser in front of it. Master was pushing her towards the servants' passage when a harsh banging startled them. "We know you are in there. Open this door at once." "Master Ilta, come with us, please," Celine pleaded, grabbing her hands. "My lady, we must go now," Idris pressed, pulling Celine away. "Let go of me." Celine struggled, but she was shoved into the doorway and closed off before the door to her room was destroyed and knights flooded the room. Celine caught a glimpse of them surrounding her master, followed by Hortensia and the head priest Mazis. "You traitor, how dare you interfere? We told you what would happen if you tried to get in our way." Hortensia spat. "You cannot stop her now. You cannot harm her." Ilta spoke defiantly and Mazis scoffed at her. "I knew your petty love for her would be your downfall. Do it now. Two knights forced Ilta to her knees. A third unsheathed his sword in a flash and slashed down her neck. Before Celine could let out the scream she was holding, Idris covered her mouth and dragged her down the stairs. They killed her, Idris. Celine cried, and Idris pulled her onto his back. We need to move faster or we will both die, my lady. He panted, and Celine held him tightly while she sobbed. A servant was waiting for them downstairs. Quickly. This way. Shouting filled the halls and servants were trying to stay out of the way of bloodshed. Celine couldn't breathe as they ran to the stables. The sight of her master's execution was too much to bear, and she felt her vision going spotty. Idris let go of her and threw their things onto the horses, strapping them down. Bile rose up and she suddenly vomited. Get up there, my lady. Idris pleaded, lifting her up onto the horse. Stay strong a little longer. He climbed onto his horse and Celine looked back as they began riding into the night. The horror was renewed as she caught a glimpse of the servant who helped them being thrown down and slaughtered. Don't look. Idris yelled, but Celine hardly heard him. The blood rushed to her head, and her vision went dark. Subscribe to this channel for more.